Welcome to our first digital coffee break. Thanks everyone for joining in. I think we are quite a few people here. I hope you got a nice cup of coffee. I'm Justus. We are doing this little format now every once a month. First of all, I would like to introduce you to Holger Ritter from DRYNET. Hi, Holger.
Hi, Justus. Hi.
Holger is a cybersecurity expert. Maybe you can say in 2 short sentences what you are doing at DRYNET or what kind?
Yeah, I'm managing director at DRYNET, so I am responsible to run the company and working in cybersecurity now since 23 years. Then, as DRYNET today is mainly focused on maritime and energy markets, we once started 23 years ago as a managed security service provider. 23 years ago, long time. Dalibor.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened 23 years ago.
You weren't here. Okay, yeah, thanks a lot for that. And next to Holger, we have Dalibor from our team. He's head of IT, head of technical department, or maybe you can just say who you are and what you do at DRYNET by yourself.
Yeah, your description was good, but it's only meaningful to some technical people. I had a lot of times and a lot of non-technical friends, and they ask me, what do you do? And it's so hard to explain them. So I found on internet very good explanation, says, I tell computers what to do, and sometimes they listen. So that's
very good.
Short description.
That's the best.
Shall I transfer that to my job with employees? And
Yes.
I work
Sometimes
with people and tell what they should. Sometimes they listen.
Yeah. So because this is a digital coffee break, I would love to hear what kind of coffee or what kind of drink you got. So is there any specific type of coffee you like, Holger, or any kind of tea, more coffee drinker? Well,
I like primarily black coffee, which I have here in my cup. But I also like very much espresso. I drink it black and without sugar. Sometimes, mainly on Sundays, I take a little bit of milk. But the milk has to go always first into the cup. I'm really annoyed if the milk is poured on the coffee. Milk goes first and then the coffee on top.
But then you stir it, right?
No stirring.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that, but Dalibor, maybe you got a preference of your coffee.
Yes, don't call it blasphemy, but this is a tea. So my preference is tea. I also like coffee, but I like. But some people will say that's not real coffee. I also like latte macchiato.
Yeah.
But primary preference is tea.
I think we got the best coffee machine here in the office. So I'm good with just regular bright coffee, I would say.
Bright coffee.
Bright coffee. I hope you all have a nice cup out there. Hi to Marvin from Bmotion. Thanks for joining us. Hi to Uwe. Oh, Martin. Thanks for joining. And everyone else. So maybe we just start in. We have now 5 minutes left, gone so far, but that doesn't mind. Let's start with Holger. Maybe we start with cybersecurity and then we go into the second topic we got so far. I maybe some of you haven't heard it, the wording, but Dalibor will tell us more about it.
About UEM.
But first, let's go into this topic of cybersecurity. Holger, cybersecurity, for me, sometimes it's buzzwording. So you read it online, buzzword. How would you describe it? What is cybersecurity for you?
Well, for me, it's very essential to communicate securely in the internet and to make use of all the great tools we have today in the digital world in a productive way. We more and more depend on these tools to work effectively and efficiently, and therefore we need to secure them, because there are people out there who are called hackers, or black hats.
Are they real?
And they are real. yeah, and they have digital representatives, but they are real. There are different kinds of. There are, let's say, the amateurs, like script kiddies or so. They just want to try something. It's not a big deal. But there are more and more professional attackers. They are looking to destroy things, to sabotage. They are looking to do sabotage. They are looking to do espionage, to grab information, data, confidential things they are not authorized for. And this is all cyber crime, and cybersecurity counters the cybercrime. Yeah, so cybersecurity are all the means that we need to do in order to work safely in the digital world.
I heard that, or we all know it's a rough world right now, and I heard that this kind of war that's going on is not longer physical war. It's more like a digital war, and
hybrid war.
Hybrid war. Mm-hmm. What does hybrid?
Hybrid means it's a war that's in the real world and in the digital world. Mm-hmm. So in both worlds. And in the digital world, the war, so to say, is often those things that come before a physical war. So it's relatively easy to attack from remote something. Yeah, you can stay in disguise. You don't need to disclose yourself. And of course, this is done by people who want to do sabotage, who want to do espionage, who want to hurt someone digitally. And most of a lot of parts of our life, not just in work, also private, is now today on the internet, in social media, etc. So the digital world is a part of our life. And so if someone attacks your digital life, yeah, this is something where we need to counter and where we need to take countermeasures for. And this is cybersecurity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's more like a term that means all of it to be secure online, or your digital devices, digital stuff. Yeah. But what are some of the most common security issues that you see in companies today? Yeah,
I would a little bit cluster it. So we have those which are human related, like weak passwords, or passwords are stolen so that unauthorized people can have access to things they should not. Also, training and awareness is something that is very important. Yeah, so we are not all IT experts or cyber experts or so. So training is essential to be aware. And even for those who work daily with computers, they need to constantly keep their awareness at a very high level. Yeah, and then there are technical things like ransomware, for example. Yeah, so programs, malware that directly hurt the digital infrastructure and that try to, for example, encrypt your data on your computer or in the company, and most of them are used by criminals so that they can get some bribery.
When Holger mentioned that people or human error is the most common cause, I would ask how many of the viewers have their password written on the paper in front of them.
Yeah. So Dalibor got a good point. So who of you has written their password in front of you right now?
But there are. We in the companies we all have a professional team in the IT who's taking care for the IT infrastructure and so on, and therefore vulnerabilities come up. Patches are not done regularly, for example. Systems are not updated yet. Or there are misconfigurations. So monitoring these misconfigurations and these vulnerabilities becomes very important. Mm-hmm. And finally, some things that we all are confronted with today, for example, unsecured Wi-Fi. Yeah, you are traveling, you are at an airport, you want to go online, you connect to a Wi-Fi network that is not secured. That is not encrypted. So you have to take your own measures. Otherwise, it's like if you write a postcard to somewhere and put it in a post box, it's become out of fashion. It's not used anymore, postcards. Mm-hmm. But if you write an email unencrypted in a public network, that's like writing a postcard. Everybody can read it.
Mm-hmm. I would add something to that. It's not only that they can read it, but they can actually pretend to be you.
Yeah.
So if you are on a public network and log into your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, somebody else can grab this cookie of your session of logging in and continue session as you. So they can post in your name. They can contact friends in your name. They cannot change password or log out because that requires additional step of verification. But they can be pretending to be you.
That sounds scary.
I shortly have to say thank you, Uwe. Really, now we have to change the password below the keyboard right over there for our meeting room. he wrote, "Look under the keyboard."
That's the first thing to change.
Yeah, so we're not better, but this computer is completely off. So,
but many things are also related to our convenience. Yeah. So you're traveling, you want internet access, okay, you take the risk and connect in an open Wi-Fi network because you think it's worth it.
But after you connect?
But after you connect, what's happening?
Then start your VPN connection and encrypt your traffic. Don't do anything until your connection is protected,
really?
Right?
Yeah, that's correct. And then you make the second mistake, maybe. Yeah. So your smartphone or your laptop running out of power, what are you looking for? You're looking for the USB port somewhere where you can charge up your telephone. And are you sure when you connect your phone to this USB port that it's really a USB charger from the airport? Maybe someone has placed someone there just to get access, physical access to your device. And once there's physical access, everything is possible.
But then you start thinking about who to trust.
Who to trust?
What can you trust anymore? Isn't it like this called zero trust that's currently going on?
It is.
Everyone
check
wants
everything, check everyone every time. For Holger's case, that's a really good point. I would say you have to find solution for some of the problems. But for this one, take your charger with you. Don't use USB cable that's coming out of charging box. Connect your charger, which you trust.
Right.
So Holger, back to my small questions I got here. If you look at the last 12 months, what has changed in our world so far?
Well, ransomware attacks are still on a very high level. Yeah, still on a very high level. However, the awareness to open emails, for example, with attachments that you have not expected is rising. But the number of attacks is also rising. And there is a shift we can see to more professional attacks. Especially, for example, CrowdStrike reported for last year a 150% increase on the already thousands of attacks from China.
Increase.
Wow. 150% increase from professional attacks from China. And most important, what is probably the biggest change is that artificial intelligence, AI, is also being used by attackers and by attacking tools, but also, of course, it is used to defend and to find vulnerabilities, etc. But AI changes the whole game, and that is a real big threat.
So if you say that, and I'm thinking about it, so we have AI fighting against AI, which AI fights back. Correct?
Yes, in parts this is correct, yeah.
So
correct. And think about the things that happened before that. You had AI bots arguing with AI bots on social networks. Now they are fighting with malware.
Yeah, but now we have the situation that with AI, you can, as a single hacker, yeah, as a single black hat, you can run thousands of parallel attacks at the same time. And the AI is learning that the response an attack gets from the system that is attacking it is directly fed in the learning process of the attacking AI. So the curve learning how to attack something is exponentially growing. And this is a big threat. Okay,
but let's maybe give the viewers maybe some kind of help with it. So if a company has limited time and budget, what are the first 2 or 3 things they should focus on to become more secure? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say the top 3 things to do, and I hope that most of our participants today already do it, but I just want to focus on it. I would always start with strong authentication and access control, point 1. So implement everywhere you can multi-factor authentication and such things. This is a low-hanging fruit, and most online services, most applications support this today. Second is prepare for the time that something has happened. So have robust and regularly tested backups and test the restore of the backups. This is very important for your own resilience. So become more resilient. And third, have an incident response plan. Plan for the unexpected. So know where your resources are, what people to contact, have a communication plan, have a disaster recovery plan, and all these things. This is very important. These 3 things I would do: access control, strong passwords. Second, robust backups and tested backups or tested restores. And the third is have an incident response plan for your business.
And I heard the term social engineering. That's correct, Dalibor? Social engineering?
Yes.
What does that mean? And maybe you can explain.
Yes, social engineering or social hacking is a way of trying to gain access to some documents or data that you are not supposed to through social contact or somebody who is working in that company. Basically, what you see in most of the movies, somebody goes to reception and calls the reception, "Oh, I'm here with CAO or CFO, we need this document quickly, can you send it over here?" Or they go to reception, chat with them while they are not watching, or they go for the tea or coffee or water. They plug in USB, which is going to collect all the data. So basically, it's about focusing on the people.
So, Holger, speaking of social engineering, how important is employer awareness?
Is more and more important. Employer, so you mean really the employer. We have new regulation in the EU called NIS2, and it's also now approved by German government and by German parliament. And NIS2 requests that the CEO or the managing director of a company that is under NIS2 regulation is trained and aware and has taken measures regarding cybersecurity. If he did not, and there is an incident that brings harm to his company or to a whole industry, he can be privately made liable up to 2 million euros. So it's good if you are a management person today in a company that falls under NIS2 regulation, that you can show that you have been trained, that you have done awareness trainings, and that you have taken measures in your company in order to implement cybersecurity processes.
And 2 million is a lot.
2 million for me, it would be a lot.
Can I ask a follow-up question? What about employee awareness?
That's a
How
good
important
question.
is that one?
Yeah, of course. This is something that has to be implemented by the employer. So yeah, there needs to be regular trainings for the people in the company. Of course, this is very, very important. Or we are focused very much on maritime. So also awareness trainings, for example, for the crew on board of ships is essential. But many people have that in their mind. Employee awareness, but the employer awareness, that the management explicitly has to be trained, this is relatively new. And I myself, for example, recently participated in a cybersecurity or cyber threat simulation. And
what does that mean?
Yeah, you are in a secure environment. You are virtually put into the situation that your company is being hacked. And you are confronted with this situation from many perspectives, and you have a certain time, let's say 3 hours or so, where you have to respond and react and see how or it's very interesting to see and learn about yourself, how you react under pressure, under time pressure, and when you have to communicate with the outside world, with your employees, etc. So this is something I can only recommend to a lot of to anybody who is working management to participate in such a simulation. And after the simulation, of course, do a rehearsal, lessons learned, and implement the lessons learned in your own organization.
So that's a good point. I hope every one of you got still some coffee left. Mine is gone. And I hope the cake is okay. So speaking of those employees, I think every employee gets a phone when he comes into the company. He will get a cell phone. He will not a cell phone, but most common a laptop. Dalibor, let's go over into the UDM part. Okay. So for everyone who is not familiar with UDM,
there are a few words. There is mobile device management or unified endpoint management.
Yeah.
But everybody knows it's device management.
Yeah. So, but how would you explain unified device management in 1 or 2 sentences?
Okay, let's try. Unified endpoint management would be best described as a central platform to monitor, configure, patch your devices, and control them. Let's clarify a bit more. So that means this is also very useful if you have bring your own device policy.
Bring your own device policy?
Bring your own device means when you will let employees, you will give them access to work resources, but you will expect them or allow them to use their devices. That means either their phones or laptops or to connect remotely. This is quite often with remote workers, and then it's called BYOD, means bring your own device that will be worked under company and can access work resources.
But probably they are also already mixing it up. So
yes, exactly.
I think every one of us has probably 2 phones, one business, one private, and we are also joining every Wi-Fi we can with our own device.
That's why there is a higher need for unified endpoint management. So you are managing, even if that's not your device, so even if it's not company issued device for which you have full right to install what you want and to block things that you don't want on it, but you cannot do that on personal devices. So that's why with these platforms you can create secure containerized space which is used only for company purposes. So that means there is no leakage of data between personal photos and data and company data and documents.
That's probably this called cyber hygiene, right?
I would call it's a basics for cyber hygiene.
Oh, basics. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of devices are typically managed, and why does it matter to have them all in this one central platform? I would imagine like it's one platform where you see as an admin everything.
You can see by the change of the name. So in the early phases, it started with mobile device management. So it was used for mobile phones, basically smart. It means smartphones. Nobody is going to manage Nokia 3310.
The best one.
Yes. Basically, it meant managing your smartphones, iOS and Android, of course, that was majority. Microsoft Windows is not there anymore. But it also means now it's managing all of the other endpoints. That includes Windows laptops, Mac OS, Linux devices, Linux servers, IoT devices, TVs, smart boxes, all of the devices that are on your network and that can be managed. It can be managed with unified endpoint management. When we say manage, just to explain what it means, you can set up besides the environment, like we said, but you can also set up password requirements. You can say, okay, you cannot use 4-digit password. You have to use special characters. Just for example, you can set up password policy, and then when users are asked for a new password, they cannot set up that simple password.
That brings me to a very good point. there's a big gap between like this UI user experience and the security part. So how are we managing that? Because I don't want to get into like 3 apps before I can access my phone. And
absolutely,
how you do it?
I've heard that questions since I work in IT, because I started working with antivirus and firewall vendors, and the best answer is the most secure computer is the one that's shut down and buried underground. So the solution is you have to find the balance, like you put it on a scale. You have to find balance between usability and security.
Holger, so do you know what kind of programs are out there using those unified device management or vendors?
Well, there are, let's say, half a dozen well-known vendors. We are working mainly with software and with a company called Hexnode, which is very good to manage a diverse environment where you have not only Windows devices, but you have also Apple devices, for example. So we use Hexnode because it's also very smart and very powerful on the other hand. But I mean, there are 5 or 6 different. It's also a matter if you want to have a more device-oriented focus. With Hexnode, the device is in the middle. There are other tools in the market that have the user-centric view. Microsoft, for example. They have also a tool where the user is in the view.
What does that mean? What's the difference then?
Yeah, it's the look angle to the thing. So a device, for Hexnode, a device can have not necessarily one user. For example, if we think it's well suited, for example, for maritime, we had a customer that had a smartphone, explosion-proof, for example, that was for the whole ship. So it could be used by many people on the ship. So a policy that has the user as the main actor, as the main object in the middle, does not work there when you have one device with many users. On the other way around, one user can also have many devices. And in order to have a consistent policy for all devices for this user, a user-centric approach could also make sense. But this is something where we help our clients to find out what the requirements are and what the best solution for that is. Yes, there is no general answer. We have made good experience with Hexnode. It's an economic and efficient solution, I would say. And it's the basis for all zero trust initiatives and security initiatives you have in your company. Also regards if you want to achieve, for example, NIS2 compliance.
Yeah, like what you just mentioned, the 2 million euros mark that might happen or you face. The question is this unified device or unified endpoint management, is it also good for kind of audit? Absolutely, yeah. With the unified device management or endpoint management, you have all your endpoints documented from a security perspective, also from an asset perspective. Yeah? All your company assets should be in there. Also IoT devices, or more and more coming up, OT devices, cameras that are remotely, for example, sensors. You can even put sensors in there. And this is very important. Yeah, with such platform, you also get audit logs, so you can see what happened at what time, who did the change, eventually. When was it updated the last time? Yeah, when was it patched the last time, etc. Also, I think now of if you want to start with like Hexnode, for example, if a company wants that, what are the first steps usually? What does it look like? Because think about a big company, how many devices they got. So that's an impressive amount. How do you start? Because it shouldn't be too complicated. Gradually. Virtually? Gradually. Gradually. So how do you start? You start by first signing up for a demo. Usually every platform has a 30-day demo, which doesn't cost you anything. And slowly start assigning one device. Assign one smartphone, then assign additional smartphone, eventually apply different policies,
play with them, see how they are applied, how do they affect user and usability of devices, and then extend to additional devices like Linux and Windows and macOS.
So
that's also what I do, and that's also what we do when customer has a solution where it involves hex node. We apply it also first on 1 or 2 devices, test everything, and then extend functionalities and more devices.
So it's not so complicated like you would think it is.
No, basically when why we chose hex node is because we tried many. We tried at least 12 to 20 different vendors and solutions, and we put it all like scientists in a diagram and decided which one is better. And one of the reasons why hex node worked for us compared to some other vendors is it's really intuitive to use. It for admins and for end users. Okay, so thanks a lot for that explanation. So we are done with it, but at the last I wanted to ask you both, thinking about cybersecurity, what are your wishes for in the future? Do you have any wishes for companies? Be more, I don't know. Holger?
Yeah, think about yourself. Think about your assets that you want to protect. Think about your processes. Don't take cybersecurity as a one-time fix. It's not something that you implement now and be happy for all time. Cybersecurity means it's a process. It's a continuous process that needs much more than just hardware or software. It needs organizational processes in your company, guidelines, trainings, awareness. So it's pretty comprehensive. And I would say, or I always tell our clients, expect the unexpected and be prepared. You can prepare if you have the knowledge about your own organization, but it's clear that something will happen. It's just a matter when will it happen.
Yeah, of time. Dalibor, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I was thinking that you are going to ask what are your fears that will happen in the future.
Yeah.
And I was thinking already of that, like with AI and stuff. But then when you ask what are your wishes, it's hard to say. What I noticed in a lot of companies, that's security awareness training. Unfortunately, I don't see it in a lot of companies, and it's not a sales tactic because we don't execute these trainings, but it's really, when you look at all the attacks, a big number of them comes because it's a human error or people were not trained what to do under stress and in such situations. And just one advice for everyone, backup is very important.
Backup.
Absolutely.
That's a very nice ending.
Think about it, yes.
Ending point here.
Resilience.
Regarding wishes for, thank you, Martin. Regarding wishes for maritime, we need an alignment of all the different international and national regulations out there. Thanks a lot for putting this into our minds. Thanks a lot for joining us today. And I wish you all a wonderful rest of the day and have a great day.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.